Meanwhile, the top Republican on the Senate Judiciary Committee, Senator Chuck Grassley, is pressing the Department of Justice and the FBI for answers. He wants an explanation after, quote, highly credible whistleblowers have come forward alleging that the agencies have downplayed negative information on Hunter Biden ahead of the 2020 election. Grassley says that the whistleblowers told him FBI officials falsely flagged verified evidence as disinformation. Joining me right now is New York Post columnist, Fox News contributor, and the author of Laptop from Hell, author Miranda Devine. Miranda, great to see you this morning. Thanks very much for being here. This is interesting that now we're getting word from Chuck Grassley that these whistleblowers say that the FBI labeled verified evidence that you uncovered, that the Senate uncovered, Grassley and Johnson uncovered, and they labeled it disinformation. Maybe that's why 50 intelligence officials lied and signed their name to a letter calling it all disinformation right before the 2020 election. Your reaction?
Thanks, Maria. Well, this is really a breakthrough, and it does look like a concerted scheme to keep the derogatory Hunter Biden information, which was derogatory to Joe Biden, one of the candidates for president back then, out of public view, to stop the senators Chuck Grassley and Ron Johnson, who were becoming very, very close to some of this information, to stop them from inquiring, to cover up for the Bidens, and to obstruct any journalist reporting or Chuck Grassley and Ron Johnson doing their investigation. This letter from Chuck Grassley is really just bombshell after bombshell. He's named two FBI officials, Tim Thibault and Brian Oten, and he's pointed the finger squarely at them, and he has asked for Christopher Wray and for Merrick Garland to do something about cleaning out the corruption in their ranks. And now we know why the FBI sat on Hunter Biden's laptop, which was handed to them in December of 2019 by John Paul McIsaac, the whistleblower, the owner of that Delaware computer repair shop, who was a patriot, who did the right thing, and then the FBI did the wrong thing, and he was then forced to go to Rudy Giuliani and the media. This story should have been identified and investigated by the FBI from the beginning to protect this country from potential national security issues. The fact they didn't is the most enormous scandal.
It's an enormous scandal, and it's really so incredibly disappointing that we cannot even trust the FBI. Because let's remember, Miranda, they had that laptop as the Democrats were trying to impeach President Trump over a phone call that he had with the head of Ukraine. All the while, they had that information on the laptop about all the money that Hunter Biden was receiving from Ukraine by being on the board of Burisma. And all the while, during the whole impeachment trial, the FBI had the laptop and stayed silent. When do you think the FBI and the DOJ decided that they wanted to be political and choose a side and go with the Democrats? I mean, look, we heard it throughout the Russia collusion lie. They were totally complicit. They knew that the Russia collusion and the dossier was fake and made up. I know that for a fact. They had Igor Danchenko tell them that in January of 2017, saying, oh, yeah, we were drinking beers. We made it up. It was all embellished. And yet they still pursued FISA warrants on Trump officials. When did they go so rogue, the FBI, so much so that America cannot trust the FBI?
Well, I mean, we know that under James Comey, they were completely rogue. Who knows how long the rot has been going on for? What we do know is that the Trump era certainly exposed them. A whole lot of cockroaches came scurrying out from under rocks. And now we have links between the people who were covering up the Hunter Biden information and the Russia hoax story that the FBI was complicit in. That is what the whistleblowers are telling Chuck Grassley. And look, thank goodness for that, because at last we are seeing the dam is bursting. There obviously are patriots inside the FBI who are now willing to come forward. Multiple whistleblowers have come forward to Chuck Grassley. I'm also told that there have been multiple witnesses in other aspects of the Biden saga who are coming forward now to Republicans as they see the midterms looming, and they see that maybe there will be some legitimate investigation done into what's going on at the FBI, because this makes the country less safe. We're paying $10 billion a year plus for the services of the FBI, and at present all we can see is that they are going after good Americans and protecting bad Americans.
That is so incredible. Do you expect charges filed against Hunter Biden? Do you think it's going to be a slap on the wrist? What will Merrick Garland do? Now that we know the complicity and the bias, political bias, has been exposed at both the FBI and the DOJ.
Look, my educated guess is that Hunter will get off with some sort of a plea deal, maybe a suspended sentence, maybe a fine. I think that that's been negotiated. I don't think that Americans who are expecting justice from this Delaware, I could be wrong, but from the US attorney in Delaware, they're not going to get savage justice. There will just be the bare minimum.
Yeah. All right. We will leave it there. Miranda, we'll watch your reporting. Thanks very much. You're working on more, and we will talk soon. Miranda Devine from the New York Post joining us this morning.